Welcome to What's Next, Better Call Saul, Season 2, Episode 6, Bali Ha'i. It could have been called, as the Americans, was Pastor Tim. This could have been Kim Wexler.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So a really nice moment, right? When she gets offered the job, like you feel like, this is great. This is. Do we think she'll take it?
Well, they're certainly showing you why she should, or why you can't blame her for taking it. Although you'll note when she's telling Jimmy about it, she very pointedly doesn't mention that it would mean giving up on the Sandpiper case.
Right, but that's
although he probably knows that.
It's probably obvious. But anyway, that was that's and her argument there in court was great. And I thought how they did that was wonderfully effective. Where she's making, you can't have both ways, you can't do both, and he's like, that's good, you're going to lose. But well done. And his whole story about being abandoned by your partners, also good. And having her walk the halls where Howard won't even look at her.
Oh God, I know. When the woman comes in with the lunch menu.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, Kim, you deserve better than this. Walk out now. Take that offer, but you're not because you like to punish yourself.
But look how great having leverage is. Because if she doesn't have that offer, she doesn't walk out and go to lunch. She just wouldn't. Yeah. She wouldn't. She'd been like, grab it. She'd be like, all right, I'll have the fucking salad. Yeah. Right? But when you have leverage,
you have choices.
You have choices. I have a friend who praises me, and one of the I stood up for a couple of good things when I was at that other show that those initials include TMZ. But I know that the only reason I was able to do it is because I was like, worst case scenario, I just go back and I have the same job I had before. Still, I had a whole other job. It's fantastic. Then you can be, this is how I feel, and I'm gonna stand here on principle. So anyway, but I liked it, although not much happened. This was a definite sort of a placeholding episode.
Well, I mean, I think it was a big Kim episode and a big Mike episode.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, we saw. Oh God. Well. All right, come on. We got the Salamanca cousins back. When I saw the silhouettes up on the roof, and I'm like, the fact that they didn't go straight to the boots, I appreciate that. I'm glad we got the silhouettes, but I saw that and I'm like screaming in my house, like, oh my God. But
I didn't recognize them until he went to see him in the restaurant.
I mean, to bring that in and to start see this progression of Mike, like, all right, I'm gonna give in for the sake of my family. But we start to see this resentment build between him and Hector, and you just, I know Gus is coming. But
the whole thing with this episode to me was sort of like, you have people like Chuck who judge Jimmy for his choices, but I think when you look at people who try to sort of, hew to the kind of ethical high road, and then at some point they're like, well, fuck it.
Yeah.
Why bother? What am I getting out of it? Why shouldn't I?
But like I love what I love about what these shows have done, mostly the Better Call Saul, but we're talking about how so many of these shows are lawyer shows, is that like we get that line from the guy who looks like Ron Silver, right?
Dennis Boutsikaris.
Right. We get that line from him. He's a good actor, and he gave us that moment of like, we landed this, whatever that big case was, we were billing on that for 20 years or whatever. Like, and he's the ethical one, but but it's so sleazy. So to me, again, there's almost nothing wrong with what Jimmy has done on all his, like, I'm like, look, running cons on people in Cicero or wherever they're, those are crimes. This stuff is making the system work for him.
But he feels so uncomfortable in that life that he's got now. The whole thing of like, he can't sleep in the starter home, whatever, but he has to go back to the shitty pull-out couch, and the whole thing with the coffee mug, and just seeing the new Sandpiper commercial, just like,
You have to think too. After a certain point, you try your old methodologies. Like in terms of Mike, he tries to be on the good side of the law for so long, and look where that got him. He lost his son. Jimmy tried his hand, and he can't walk the straight line, but he's still being punished by his brother. And after enough time, how long is it to just say, I'm going to make it work for me. I'm going to do what's best for me. I'm going to look out for number one.
Sure.
And can you honestly blame those people? Because at the end of the day, isn't that what you do? Isn't that what
Yeah,
you
like why am I?
Yeah.
Why for Kim or Jimmy or Mike? Like why am I making the sacrifices for other people who are fucking me over? I'm gonna fuck over everybody else now.
But that's the difference is that obviously as soon as you get into I'm going to fuck over everybody else, then you've crossed some ethical line that
Well,
at
sure.
least that I have. But to me, like the reason why you and I disagreed, I'm trying to, because I never thought that I would be on the side of the sleazy lawyer. But since I think, and I have friends who are lawyers, I have no beef with lawyers,
Sure,
right?
no.
But there's so much sleaziness there that I don't know that any of Jimmy's things fucked over other people. There is a way that you could say to him that you could have criticized him and told him to stop because it was messing them up and it was reputation. But look, what do you know? Their reputation survived. So these guys are all uptight about everything. Like Chuck should be like, Jimmy, this is my brother. He's a really good sleazy lawyer. Like you could appreciate that part of Jimmy.
And I think I've quoted this line before from broadcast news about like you cross the line. Well, they keep moving that.
They
sucker,
keep
don't
moving.
they?
That's right. They keep moving the line.
And Jimmy's kind of a Robin Hood. The people he's helping aren't, maybe they're not the best of people all the time, but they're still like the people in need. And they're the ones to help it, and he's still like he's sticking it to the man. He's sticking it to the people who aren't the best.
It's interesting because look at these three guys. That's Meredith. Like and I'm including Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
Right, including Walter, because like all these criminals, and Walter was a sociopath. Right?
Oh, Walter was.
But Saul and Mike and Walt.
Yeah.
Right. They don't care about money. They don't like whatever it is they're chasing. I mean, Mike literally, on principle, hands back $25,000 of a guy who has no income and is desperate to raise money for his family. Right. So it's a hunk of money.
But he's still a man of honor.
He's still like, no, I didn't do the deal, and you're a straight guy, so here's 25 back, and we're gonna have to deal with this in 18 months again.
Right.
And Saul could care less about the car. Could care less about all these things. He wanted Kim, right? And thought this was like, okay, finally got convinced, okay, this is what you're supposed to do when you make it. And Walter never cared about the money, ever. It's an interesting world that they.
Well, I mean, initially it was, but it's a power play.
But it still wasn't his main. Like he liked the power, and he's a little different. But in the beginning, it was all like anyway. There was an admirable. There's certainly for Mike and Saul. I have a tremendous amount of admiration for the things that they want in life that have nothing to do with having a Mercedes.
Oh, no, same. And going back to Walt, too, it's like you don't realize you're rooting for the real bad guy until you're way deep into it. Like, it took me, like, my third rewatch of Breaking Bad to really see, like, how messed up Walt was. Because I love Walt. He's one of my favorite characters on television. And I'm like, wow, you really are the real bad guy in all this, but I still root for you because at the end of the day, I'm like, you're fighting for your convictions, but by the like 5th season,
by the time he's in remission and he's still doing it, it's like, okay, then
but it's so, it's so hard because like, I don't know, just given this Mike backstory, he was always one of my most intrigued characters from Breaking Bad and getting to know where he's coming from and learning all this, I'm like, dude, Mike, I feel for you, and I'm starting to wonder. I'm thinking the daughter-in-law. I'm thinking she.
There's something hinky there for sure, but hopefully, maybe we'll get more answers next week. Who knows?
Thanks, everybody.